Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about something that some people may not like this topic. So if this is something that you're not into or you're not interested in, then just, I guess, don't watch the video. But the topic is how to look less sick. I don't know if that really makes sense. I guess you'll see what I mean. As I've been uploading videos recently, I have seen myself in various different states over over the course of like a couple years. And as you've seen all of my videos, I look different in many of them. I've done videos without makeup. I've done videos with short hair, long hair. I've lost my hair over the last couple of years. I know it doesn't look like it, but I have lost a lot of hair. And so I've kind of started to recognize my face a little bit better, or like get to know my face. And I will be speaking specifically about my face, but there are also, I may do another video regarding body and how to make yourself look, I guess, less sick. But as I've been looking at my face, I have noticed certain things that make me look worse, more sickly looking, and certain things that sort of improve that situation. Now, we have all heard, the whole "you don't look sick" lecture that a lot of people like to give us, especially those of us who have an invisible illness. I don't agree with that. I have never agreed with that. And I do believe that I do look sick, particularly, depending on how I guess, do my makeup or, how I dress. But there's this kind of, I just kind of want to give a little backstory as to why I'm making this video, because some people may kind of get annoyed by it and they wonder, well, what's the big deal? Yes, a lot of us are told we don't look sick. But in my family, um, my mom's side of the family is very overweight. They have always been very, very overweight. Some of them morbidly obese, and many have, a few of her siblings have died from being overweight or complications from being overweight. But that is the norm for them. That is not only normal, that is almost healthy to them, because that's what they've grown up around, and they've all been overweight at some point in their lives. And so I've always been slim. And of course, during my illness, I've been very, very thin. I am about probably somewhere around 20 pounds underweight. And so I have always been self-conscious about it, because I've never been heavy. My dad's side of the family, they're not really heavy. So I guess genetically I took after that. And so there's this, now that I'm sick, now that they know that I am actually diagnosed and ill, they've kind of gone back to, instead of criticizing me for being so thin, now it's like, oh, you look fine. So there's this sort of war in my head between, whether I don't look good or whether I do look good. And it's a constant back and forth, because I've been given these mixed messages since I was a kid. Sometimes you're way too thin and you look sick, and your hair is making you look sick, or all these kind of weird messages. And then I'm actually diagnosed, and suddenly it's like, oh, you look great, you look fine. You've never looked better. And so for me, personally, it is something that I do get self-conscious about sometimes. And I do think that I look ill. I think anybody that's 20 pounds underweight is going to look sick. You're going to look not healthy. And this video will be specific to people who are underweight. It'll be specific to myself. But some of these things may apply to you if you're underweight, or if you, I guess, look similar to me, have similar skin issues and that kind of thing. But that's just where I'm coming from. So I kind of wanted to give that backstory, because I think some people are fine, with how they look. Some people are, too sick to really care, and that's fine. I mean, it's just another pointless thing to worry about. But I think for me, that constant pointing out of how I look, my weight, and, even like my hair and that kind of thing um, has been something that's happened throughout my life. And by the way, my mom is a former beautician, so that might be part of it. So these are just things that I have noticed while I've uploaded my videos and I look at myself in every different video. There are times when I don't wear makeup simply because I want to make the video right away. I have something on my mind and I don't want to take the time to be putting on makeup, and I just want to get on here and get my thoughts out. But when I do have the opportunity to fix myself up for any occasion, there are certain things that I have noticed that will make me look um, less sickly, and there are certain things that actually will make me look worse. And this is, I guess, kind of a list of those types of things. So I want to start with my hair. Like I said earlier, I have lost a significant amount of my hair. You cannot tell. I actually just washed it today, so it kind of poofs up. It gets kind of frizzy the days that I wash it, so it looks like I have more than I actually do. I am down to about, from my full head of hair to now, I would say I'm probably like 60% of the hair that I had. I think I went down to about 50% at one point. Then I regained it. I went back up to like 75%, and now I'm back down to 60% of my hair. And that's just, me kind of eyeballing it. But when I started losing my hair, I started noticing that, yes, I was looking more sickly the longer my hair was. And I was really enjoying my hair. I had never had it that long before. I mean, it was really long. I had never been able to grow it, probably past, here. And it was growing longer, which was kind of weird because it was also falling out a lot. But I noticed that it was just looking stringy and thin. The longer it was, the sicker it made me look, because you could really tell that I had lost a lot of hair. So keeping it a little bit shorter length, probably mid-length, a little bit longer than this, probably looks ideal from what I'm seeing in my videos, and keeping it wavy. I do straighten it sometimes because sometimes it just doesn't wave up nicely, but sort of like a beachy wave kind of vibe, something like this, I guess, looks the best on me from what I can see. Parting my hair to the side, I don't part it to the side because it tends to come into my eyes, but I have noticed that parting it to the side for whatever reason makes me look a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but hair for some reason just can be a real game changer. But it is also something that has been pointed out to me a lot by my mom. Like, oh, your hair is too long. It makes you look sick. It makes you look, which obviously that kind of stuff will get in your head. But yeah, my hair has been, I've always had a ton of hair. And by a ton, I mean a lot of hair, to the point where, I have to have special hair clips that are really big because I had so much hair. My hair bands wouldn't go around my hair more than twice. And now, I can really feel the difference. And so that has been, kind of I guess, a point of sadness for me, because I have always had a ton of hair. As far as my face, you may not be able to see it. I did talk about this in the skincare video and probably in the makeup video. I do have significant acne scarring. I was able to sort of treat it as I recovered from severe acne. I didn't have acne as a teen. The acne was related to my chronic illness. And so I was able to treat it as I was recovering from it. So I think that's why it doesn't look horrible, but I do have significant acne scarring. And in order to not make it stand out, I have to be very careful with the products that I use on my face. Anything with a shimmer, any kind of shimmery blush, will highlight the texture and make it worse. So matte blushes, maybe matte or satin bronzers will keep the scarring from being highlighted and being too apparent. Anything that is dewy, creamy, it's always going to highlight the scarring. So I try to stay away from shimmer. I do like highlight though, because highlight can bring a little bit of life back into your face and make you look a little bit healthier. So I just have to be very careful. I am wearing a highlight, but it's a very subtle highlight. The highlights that I use are subtle. They're not sparkly. They're not shimmery. Sometimes they're kind of hard to detect. But the most I will use is like maybe a slightly dewy highlight, and I just have to kind of keep it back here, and kind of higher up. I try not to come down too much because of the scarring. Um, the area that I do see that really can make me look really ill is my eyes. And you will notice that in my videos because sometimes I'll be wearing eyeshadow, and sometimes I won't be wearing eyeshadow because I find eyeshadow very tedious. I like makeup, but I don't wear it much because I'm sensitive, and also because I like the concept of makeup. I don't like actually doing makeup on myself. I find it time consuming and annoying. So if I did my makeup every day, it would just be eyeliner and probably mascara. I have noticed though that when I do put eyeshadow, if I do kind of a darker, kind of smokier, a duskier eyeshadow, my eyes look more sunken in. And as you can tell, my eyes are already pretty sunken in from being underweight. When you lose weight, your eyes just will always look more sunken in. Your features will always look more sunken in. Um, Cheekbones, cheeks, that kind of thing, sharper edges of the face. Um, so darker eyeshadow will always accentuate that. Now, there's a time and a place. I've had events, like my sister's wedding, where I did want to look a little bit more, I guess, elegant. So I put a little bit darker eyeshadow. But I have noticed that the thing that looks most flattering is maybe like a shimmery, light, kind of nude eyeshadow, a cat eye eyeliner, and mascara. And typically, if you don't want to look too sick or too heavy, you go a little bit lighter. So I have learned um, to enjoy brown eyeliner and brown mascara. I do like the black because it makes my eyes pop a little bit more, but as far as looking a little bit more alive and awake, I go a little bit lighter with brown mascara and brown eyeliner, it tends to make me look less sickly and less weighed down and less of that sunken in look. I am wearing a pink eyeshadow. Pink eyeshadow can be a real situation. It is brighter and it doesn't seem to give me that sunken in heavy look. But if you have the wrong pink eyeshadow, it looks like you have an eye infection. And this one seems to work for me okay, but I did have one from Pacifica that I would put it on and I was just like, it looks like I have an eye infection. It looks like something's wrong with my eyes. So sometimes the best kind of foolproof look is just a little bit of eyeliner on the top of my eye, and mascara and curling my eyelashes to open up that eye. I have started avoiding lower eyeliner because I think it's like, it kind of makes you look older. Like I said, for special occasions, yes, it makes your eyes pop, but it does make your eyes smaller, makes you look a little bit older. And so I just day to day won't put eyeliner on the bottom waterline. And some people will put like a white kind of liner on the inside of the bottom waterline to make their eyes look more awake. So that might work for you. I just prefer not to put anything in there because my eyes are so sensitive. So just staying away from that, because my features are so sharp because of weight loss, I don't contour very much. I just kind of do bronzer, and bronzer is key. You don't want to not do bronzer if you're kind of sickly and pale like myself. Bronzer will make you look alive and give you a little bit more life into your skin. So I do just light bronzing, not any sharp contouring because I don't need it. You can see that my features are pretty sharp as it is. So like I said, the eyes are kind of the area that you really have to be careful with if you are underweight because you will have that sunken in look. And I mean, if you like that, there are some people that do like that. There's some people that really enjoy that sort of kind of waif sort of, I guess, goth type of look. And it does look fine on some people. But for me, day to day, I, if I do want to use like a brown shadow or something, you know, I'll do that, like a brown kind of shimmery shadow, because it might offset that sunken look. But if you go too dark, it can make you look a little bit skinnier. As far as my lips, I do, you know, it's hard for me to find a red lipstick that doesn't make me look old. I have noticed that red lipstick sort of ages me. I'm not that young anymore, so obviously I try to look a little bit more youthful. But a red lip for the holidays is fine. I like kind of more orangey reds. But day to day, a nude lip or like a lighter pink lip or like a nude pink lip. Nude lips are just the way to go for whatever reason. I tend to look younger. Um, you know, this one is very, very light, so that can kind of make you look a little dead. But something with maybe a little bit more pinky tone, a pinky tone nude, maybe a brown tone nude, brings a little bit of life to your face. But if I have my eyes done up, I always tend to go nude on the lips. If I just do like, you know, an eyeliner, you know, then that's when you can go a little bit stronger with the lips. But I try and, I don't know, for whatever reason, a strong lip just, it's nice. And I do have some, you know, brighter pink colors. Maybe like coral pink is nice, and gives you life without being too intense. But I feel like it ages me. And it ages me and sometimes may make me look more pale. And that also brings me to one of the key things that I have noticed when it comes to foundation. I've been using the same foundation. If you saw my makeup video, I've been using the same foundation for a very long time because it's one of the only foundations, it's the only foundation that doesn't bother my skin. Um, and I would always use it in a medium tone. I am not a medium tone. I am light. You know, there's fair, light, medium, and then darker tones. I'm usually in the light category, but for whatever reason, I was never able to find a better match in that brand, so I would always use the medium one. And I did notice that it was kind of a little dark for me, and it drove me crazy for a little while until I started watching my videos and I started looking at my face. And I noticed that, and right now I have a mixture of two different colors of the same foundation because I did find um, a lighter shade that I kind of liked. But when I use the darker one, I tend to look a little bit healthier. And obviously, that's because I don't look pale. You know, paleness has always been associated with being a little bit more sickly, and a little bit less healthy. And for whatever reason, I noticed that. And I saw that, you know, in my videos because I've been using a lighter color of foundation. When I have the darker foundation on, I just look more sun-kissed. I look more like, you know, beach vibes. I don't know what it is. I just look healthier. I also feel like it conceals the scarring better. It conceals dark circles better. One thing that I've learned watching beauty influencers is that if you go too light with your concealer, it actually highlights your dark circles. It doesn't hide them. And for a while, I was wearing a very, very light concealer, and I noticed that. And I have struggled with dark circles recently because of a sinus situation that I had earlier this year. And it actually caused like a sort of darkening, like almost a bruising effect on my eye. So I really noticed that very, very light concealer was not getting the job done. So yeah, for whatever reason, just a darker foundation seems to make a pretty big difference. Even though it doesn't match my neck. I mean, most people don't pay attention, but yeah, I was like, I just look so much healthier. Having my eyebrows filled in, I have a pretty decent eyebrow, but filling them in has made my face look more complete and more whole, kind of frames the face. Even sometimes if I'm not wearing makeup, just filling in my eyebrows makes me look a little bit more alive. Now, I don't know with my hair loss, I don't think I lost, it was just the hair on my head that I lost. I didn't lose eyebrow or eyelashes that I noticed. I'm sure that I am losing some because I do see some patchiness, but the substantial hair loss was just on my head, which I thought was really weird. Um, So yeah, I think that covers it. Those are the things that I have noticed for myself. If you have any of your own tips that you want to leave in the comments, I would be very interested in hearing what works for you guys. And even with men, obviously, well, there are some men that wear makeup, but obviously a lot of men don't. So I don't know if there are things that men do to sort of make themselves look a little bit healthier, a little bit more alive. But this is the stuff that I have learned, and I saw it just by watching my videos, just by going back and looking at all the kind of my evolution. And you know, I don't know if this would help anybody or if anybody's interested, but I know for me, like I said, I think a lot of the self consciousness comes from commentary that I've heard throughout my life. Even before becoming chronically ill, I was hearing these comments related to my weight all the time. And so you just start paying attention to that, especially in the face. Because sometimes you can conceal with clothing, you can conceal your body, but your face, um, I mean, now we wear masks, but your face is one of those things that is just out there, and people will pick at it, and people will find whatever, criticism they can. But yeah, leave your tips down in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys do to sort of help yourself. And sometimes it just feels good to look in the mirror and not um, and see myself a little bit more put together. I feel like sometimes that helps me a little. Just my own self-esteem, my own day-to-day self-esteem. So, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Take care.